It is weaponized against Trump, but that's because Trump's a criminal. He breaks the law regularly. So yes, DOJ is weaponized against people who break the law. Maine disqualifies Trump from presidential primary ballot, citing insurrection clause. There's another one. This is it. It's happening. He's been removed from a second state's ballot, kind of. The move comes days after Colorado Supreme Court removes Trump from state primary ballot for the same reason. So now we've got Maine and Colorado. Maine has blocked Donald Trump from its presidential primary ballot, becoming the second state to bar the former president from running under a constitutional provision that prevents insurrectionists from holding office. Maine Secretary of State Shayna Ballots examined the case after a group of citizens challenged Trump's eligibility to concluded that the former president should be disqualified for inciting an insurrection on January 6, 2021. She said, "I do not reach this conclusion lightly. I am mindful that no Secretary of State has ever deprived a presidential candidate of ballot access based on the Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. I'm also mindful, however, that no presidential candidate has ever before engaged in insurrection." That's the important bit there. No presidential candidate has ever before engaged in insurrection, which he did. So, is this new and unprecedented ground? Yes. Why do we have to do the new and unprecedented things? Well, because Trump is new and unprecedented. He does things that nobody else has ever done before. No other person running for office has done an insurrection. Well, maybe no other person running for president has ever done an insurrection. So yeah, there's going to be new court cases. There's going to be new issues. Hey, you're one step ahead of me. Well, we're going to get to that in just a moment. Shinzo, that is definitely happening. So let's see. He's the current front runner. They have said, this is from Trump's friend, make no mistake, these partisan election interference efforts are a hostile assault on American democracy. Also accusing Ballots of being a virulent leftist. God, I wish that this was a true statement. I really do. Right here. A virulent leftist. I would love for that to be true. It's not. But I wish it were. Partisan election interference. Well, if reading the Constitution and then applying it as a partisan election interference, the Republicans aren't pro-Constitution. They're not. They're not for it. They don't like it. It doesn't matter if what it says. They just need to feel like they're part of it. They feel like reading the Constitution and applying it evenly is against them. And it is. That might be more than a feeling. It might be like law might be coming into play there. Unlike in other states, Ballots, who oversees elections in Maine, was required to make an initial determination about disqualification before it was considered by the courts, because each state has a handful of different laws. We have 50 different laws, about putting people onto a ballot. Ballots has suspended the effect of her decision until the state's highest court rules on any appeal. So she has said, yes, he is not allowed to be on there, though I know it will be appealed, so I'm going to wait. Both Maine and Colorado are Democratic-leaning states, which means Joe Biden will likely win in both. However, the Maine has just 4 electoral votes. It's one of 2 states that splits them. Trump won one of Maine's electors in 2020. So this has removed Trump's one possible electoral vote. He lost by several in 2020, and he didn't lose by several. He lost by a few, but not that many. The winner-take-all electoral college votes are very strange, and I don't really appreciate them. But the idea that there is now possibly one fewer that Trump could even get, that makes a difference. All of a sudden, this matters. And why did the person in Maine do it? This is an important question right here. It's answered. Both the Maine and Colorado decisions are based on the Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which bans from office those who engaged in insurrection. The provision, which has instituted after a civil war, was intended to prevent Confederates from retaking power. Legal scholars have argued that the clause should apply to Trump because of the role he took on in the 2020 presidential election to obstruct the peaceful transfer of power. The clause has rarely been used and has not previously been tested on the office of the presidency, which is why it's new, unfounded, nobody's ever done it before. So, very new stuff, very exciting. Then we've got a interview from this Secretary of State. Maine Secretary of State explains her reasons for barring Trump from the primary ballot. So why did you do it? Well, I know why she did it. She read the Constitution, then applied it. But apparently, that's partisan hackery if it hurts a Republican. Let's see. What does she say, though? The interview was restricted to a discussion of her ruling and the process, leaving unanswered questions about the risks of her potential safety. In the wake of the Colorado Supreme Court's ruling to disqualify Trump from holding office, the Colorado justices, blah, blah, blah. Let's hear what she has to say. In evaluating the weight of the evidence, it was made clear that Mr. Trump was aware of the tender that he had laid in a multi-month effort to delegitimize the 2020 election, and that he chose to light the match. Okay? The U.S. Constitution does not tolerate an assault on the foundations of our government, and Maine election law requires me to act in response. See, that just makes sense. The events of January 6th were unprecedented and tragic, and it was an assault, not only by the Capitol and the government officials, including the former Vice President and members of Congress, but on the rule of law itself. Yes, Mr. Trump engaged in that insurrection and thereby is not qualified to be on the ballot. Correct. Read the law, apply the law. If you read the law and apply the law, and the Republicans are outside the law, they're not allowed to be on the ballot. That's it. That's all there is. They're going to scream about this being political, but it's a political job. He's a politician who runs in a voting poll. So yes, it is political. Republicans don't use that word properly. They don't use the word correctly. Anything they don't like is political. If Trump breaks the law and isn't allowed on the ballot, that's political. Why are you making everything political? Because they don't know what the word means. They don't care what it means. It doesn't matter what the law says. Republicans operate on feelings alone. Only feelings. They feel like Donald Trump should be on that ballot, so he should be. If there's a law preventing him, that law is political. They use the word, that's my new thing. Anytime a Republican says it, they're political. I'm going to do it like that, so that we know. She continues. In Maine, we're very proud of our voting rights. We were the first in the nation in 2022 with voter participation, and we have a statute that makes me different from any other state that I have observed. My obligation under Maine state law is to issue a decision very quickly. I am not permitted under Maine law to wait for the United States Supreme Court to intervene in this particular proceeding. She's literally following the laws. There's a lot of words that they use as ad-libs for things they don't like. Yeah, exactly. Woke is the other one, but political has been the one I've been seeing for the past couple of weeks. We are witnessing in real time the attempted theft of an election and the disenfranchisement of an American voter, he added. This is from Trump's spokesperson. So Trump's spokesperson is saying he should be on there. Obviously, well, I mean, he's paid by Trump to do so. Ballots, again, the woman who removed him from the ballot, has said, I take the Constitution very seriously. I swear an oath to uphold it. I take the First Amendment very seriously, Bellows said. Trump has argued that he cannot be disqualified from the presidency over conduct surrounding the 2020 election Jan 6 because his speech is protected by the First Amendment. Yes, your speech is, but the actions you took were illegal. The things, not every single word is protected by the First Amendment. You are not allowed to harm people with your speech. You're not allowed to dox people. You're not allowed to foment violence. You're not allowed to threaten people with your speech. Donald Trump does not protect the First Amendment. He doesn't defend it. He hides behind it. When it's beneficial to him, he throws bombs from behind it. He hides behind the First Amendment like a bunker. He hides behind it and throws out bombs. And when somebody tries to stop him and suggest, hey, the thing you did is illegal, that bomb, you're not allowed to throw that. Oh, I'm behind the First Amendment. First Amendment protects me. It's nonsense. He doesn't protect it. He hides behind it. If you really loved the Constitution, you'd defend it. You'd protect it, not hide behind it while lobbing verbal bombs at other people that you don't like and call it political. Yeah, Bork boys are back. Bork, 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 bork. The right, Thomas, hello. Thanks for hopping in. Let's see. So, I gotta scoot this over so we can seize it. It's a good thing I'm such a terrible streamer. All right. Trump also presented the defense that the 14th Amendment does not apply to the presidency, citing an early draft of Section 3 that referred to the office of the president or vice president, but was not included in the final adopted language as evidence that it was intentionally removed or excluded those offices. That could be an argument, but that's way down in the legal weeds. That's really deep within the legal weeds. Thomas is in the Discord. Oh my goodness. We're going to see if he has any ideas about this. I'm going to swap over here, and then we're going to hop into the Discord channel, and we should have a very special guest for this very important day.
Yes, I saw you were streaming and woke up in time to make it here. So.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're here. We hadn't talked in a little while, but
yeah, it's been a minute.
Apparently you have some sort of real life that I've heard about. I don't have one.
Yes.
But
Yes, and I've been sick for like 3 months almost now. Crazy.
The long COVID, it's brutal.
Yeah, they say it's a sinus infection. So if I
Okay.
cough while I'm on the stream, you'll have to forgive me.
Okay, no problem. I can always edit those out of the videos. But so yeah, have you seen the news?
I have.
Would you tell us what you think? Because I've been talking about it for a couple of weeks now.
You're talking about Trump being off the ballot
Colorado and
in
Maine.
a couple of states.
Colorado,
Colorado.
Maine, and I hadn't
Hi,
gotten
KBP.
to it yet, but we have also, let me bring up my screen here. They're questioning it in North Carolina, and Alaska has considered it. Get out of here, pop up. Alaska considers joining Colorado and disqualifying Trump from primary ballot, and then a Louisiana woman has filed a suit to do the same. A lot of these may get shot down, but the fact that we're at 5 states now, and maybe more, 2 that have actually removed them, Maine and Colorado, but 3 more that are thinking about it.
Yeah, I think it'll be overturned in every state. Actually, it probably goes up in the Supreme Court.
Well, yeah, it's definitely headed that way. Yeah,
and it'll be just blanket by the Supreme Court, either allowed or rejected.
Mhm.
But I suspect that the Supreme Court will just allow it, or
um,
not allow the ban, allow him to be on the ballot.
Okay, they will suggest that through what mechanism? That it doesn't specifically say president or something along those lines?
On the grounds that he hasn't been convicted of insurrection.
It doesn't require conviction. When it was used historically on the Confederacy, none of them were tried and convicted of being a Confederate. Simply put, they were rebelling against the country, and that was enough. They were not convicted of anything. That is one of the arguments that the legal weenies are using.
Huh. That's interesting.
It doesn't, yeah, the 14th Amendment, Section 3 doesn't include the word or the wording of conviction. It doesn't say person convicted of this. It just says anyone involved in. I think it uses the word involved. Let me double check it real quick. But I'm pretty sure it uses just the word involved, which is why these courts feel like they can do it. They are looking at it and saying, yeah, that's kind of what it says here. All right, so we've got no person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president or vice president or hold any office. Now this is where the semantics come in. Civilian or military under the United States or under any state who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or a member of any state, so you can click on it to extend it a little bit longer. And this is the other legal part, the word officer of the United States, or as any member of the state legislature, or as an executive or judicial officer of any state, or to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged, doesn't say convicted, just says engaged, in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid, comforter to the enemies thereof, but Congress may vote 2/3 in each house to remove such a disability. So it's not ironclad. I mean, the Congress will not vote 2/3 to keep him. They will not.
No, they won't. Well, actually, maybe he could probably get maybe 1/3 or 2/5.
Yeah,
but not 2/3 certainly.
Yeah. I don't think McConnell likes him that much.
Well, I don't think that
So
it's. I don't think that it's ironclad in either direction, really.
Right. That's the
given
problem.
That wording.
As usual,
is sort of a problem. Yeah,
there are 2 different semantic arguments here. Hold any office. Is the president an office that you hold? I mean, it's called the office of the president of the United States, but then but he's not an officer. It's very complicated. The one letter right here, this R right here. I think the entire argument depends on that one letter. Because Trump's very stupid lawyers are going to argue that Donald Trump didn't take an oath as an officer of the United States. That's what they're going to say. He did take an oath to the presidential office, but not as an officer. So that one R right there,
well, I think
is going to be their entire argument.
I don't think that's the case at all. I think there's a couple of spots where they could take an argument. There is that one. I think that's actually weaker than shall have engaged in insurrection being part of it. I mean, the dude was on Twitter. Like, he wasn't part of the January 6th riot in front of the Capitol building. So
he wanted to be. He tried to be many times. He said, "Take me to the Capitol building," and then the Secret Service refused to do it. He told them to march up there. Then they did. He was giving direction to them. He was calling several election officials, telling them not to certify the election. He was telling Mike Pence, "Do not certify this election. Do not account these electors."
Sure.
I think all of those things together creates a conspiracy to overthrow the correct and legitimate 2020 result.
Okay, but that's not the same thing as being one of the people that broke into the Capitol building.
No, but he is the ringleader engaging in an insurrection. He is, by making, I would suggest that just by making the phone call to those election officials, he has engaged in an insurrection. The election officials have
I would call that a stretch.
Okay.
But I think
insurrection
that's
is a complicated. Yeah, and that is where they're going to argue. I think you're right.
They're probably. Yeah, I would imagine that rather than using the officer word, it'd be probably he didn't engage in anything. And then there was, I would call them some CYA activities he did after the fact, and maybe during. He was like, everybody. He put out a video, if you recall, during the Capitol riot that was like, everybody go home. And that's what they'll point to is stop it, don't do this, go home.
That's so disingenuous though, isn't it? That seems disingenuous to me, but that is what they will do. I mean, stab people,
exactly.
people,
I'm just telling you what they're going to do.
Yeah, you're right.
and it's I'm going to tell you, I bet you it stands as
you think at 6-3 we get all the conservative-ish justices say he's allowed, and then 3 of them say that he's not?
I would be surprised if it split exactly down the line again on this one. Well, I'll throw out a prediction. Either direction that it goes, it'll be unanimous.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. That is a bold prediction. I like it. I appreciate it. I'm thinking 6-3. I really do. I really think it's 6-3 that he is allowed on the ballot, and they'll use the lawyerly language that you've been mentioning and the things that I was thinking about to suggest that he is not, the state isn't allowed to take him off, especially with so much support and stuff like that. Then what the other court case, because he's got 3 things coming up to the Supreme Court. He really does. That one, the immunity, and what was that third one? Remember, I talked about it a couple weeks ago, but the immunity thing. Have you heard about this one? Trump immunity? He is claiming
refresh me on it. I'm sure I've heard.
Claiming that all the actions he took while president, he is immune from prosecution.
Which actions is he referring to?
Literally everything and anything. Presidential immunity. Supreme Court's latest Trump decision may be bad news for him. Yeah, legally the question of presidential immunity from a criminal prosecution is not a tough one. Yeah, he is claiming to be immune from just about everything because he was the president and you can't convict the president in a court of law or something like that. He's gonna say like he's way out of line. But what he's going to do is say that Jack Smith isn't allowed to prosecute or indict him. That's what he's going to tell us.
I think that'll be shot down.
I think it will be shot down. Here's the interesting bit. I don't know if you watched my Lawrence O'Donnell video a couple of weeks ago, but the presidential immunity has been settled. It's settled. It's not up in the air. We know for sure. Kavanaugh, in the late 90s, wrote 30 pages about how you can absolutely convict a president after they're out of the office. 100%. And he laid it down black and white.
I did see that.
No way around it. Like Kavanaugh put that shit in hard language.
Yep.
As soon as the president is gone, you can and should and shall, I think he used the word shall, prosecute him for all his crimes. You know? He was talking about Bill Clinton, obviously. But I want to see if he flip-flops. I really do. I want to see if he goes back on
that would be interesting.
I don't want him to. I don't want him to, but
I definitely think that if he flip-flops, it would be a good case for proving the bias that justices have,
right?
Or the lack thereof.
Or the lack thereof. Yes.
Definitely suspect that this one will also be unanimous.
I think you're right. I think,
and it will end up being unanimously. Yes, he can be prosecuted.
Yes, he can. Yeah, I agree. I think this is going to come down to 9-0. Yes, he can be prosecuted. This is going to that one's going to get weird on Truth Social because I am just making broad generalizations about Donald Trump's mental state, but I think that he thinks these are his judges.
Oh, he will freak the fuck out when it goes against him on this one. Yeah.
Right. On the immunity one.
And yeah. He's not going to be happy.
He's not.
And he may even return to Twitter or X on this one because he was unbanned, but
X, formerly Twitter, which is its full name.
Yes,
that's what it's called now. X, formerly Twitter.
Right. The artist formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, you have to say the whole thing, like a pimp named Slickback. You have to say the whole thing. So yeah, I think the immunity one. So that's his second one. Then there's a third one that's about. What was the third one about? Hey, chat, what was the third one about? So I have forgotten now. Regardless, it's not as big and important. 3 big cases coming up in the Supreme Court. Okay, let's keep on the prediction train. 9-0. Thomas is correct. 9-0. They all say that he is prosecutable. He is not immune, though they also say 9-0 that he is allowed on the Colorado ballot. I think that's the most peaceful situation. I really do. What happens if he's not allowed on those ballots? What do you think?
Well, the first thing is that it's is it specific to the primary ballots? Because that's what I see in all the articles when I look it up. It's
right, because he's not. Here's the issue. This is also why they didn't do this 4 years ago. The courts have fucking standing, you know. In 2021, no one is on the primary ballot, which means you can't sue to have somebody not on the primary ballot, right? It hasn't been made yet. So now that the primary ballots are being made and they're putting names on there, that's the only time you can sue about it, which is silly. The regular ballots, there are no names on there. 0 names on there. So you cannot sue or bring up in court who isn't on the ballot. You have to wait until they're like being created, honestly. So the reason this is only primary is because those are the only ballots that exist right now. As soon as the regular ballots exist, there might be more. There might be more of these cases.
So there will be more, so I guess it'll be very interesting because this is going to settle the score, because if they overturn banning him from the primary ballots in these states, then of course they'll overturn
absolutely yes
banning him from the actual the actual ballot.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. That will happen.
I think that that banning from the primary ballots is actually a weaker case. They probably should have waited. And the reason I say that is because the primaries are for, political parties, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah, they're like a corporation.
Can nominate whoever they want, but if they happen to nominate a criminal or somebody that is ineligible to hold office, like Arnold Schwarzenegger,
right?
Then of course he can be on a primary ballot, but it makes no sense for him to be on the electoral ballot.
Yeah, it's a murky and weird situation where like states have different rules for primaries than they do the general and stuff like that.
Right.
So it is a legal mush. It's legally ugly. So I think the Supreme Court will make this decision, and I think they will come down 6-3. You're saying 9-0, and that's fine. The outcome's the same, honestly. And he will be on those ballots. I think he will. I think they'll come down on that side.
Yeah, and I do think that this actually weakens the case. If they had waited until the actual election ballots, your case is stronger than the primary.
Maybe, but it's also far more chaotic because he won Super Tuesday. He has the delegates in the system. The people have already spoken. You run the risk of removing him after he's already won a few contests. I think that's more difficult. That's more dangerous. That's more chaotic and could lead to more.
Yeah, you're right. I totally agree.
Upset and riots.
More upset and riots. More chaos. Yes. I think it's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that that's not true. I'm just saying that I think the legal case is stronger on the electoral ballot rather than the primary ballot.
Okay.
That's all I was saying. I totally agree with you.
Could be.
That to do it on as early as you can it's a move. It's a strategic one. Mm-hmm. There are pros and cons on both sides. I just think the legal argument is stronger for doing it once you have the electoral ballot.
Okay. Cool. So let's real quick, I hadn't read this about North Carolina yet. North Carolina decision to remove him was appealed on Friday, which means that's still going to go up. So it should be, again, this will go to the Supreme Court. And now that there are like 5 states doing it, this is the only thing the Supreme Court is supposed to be doing. Like, this is the most important thing they do, is we've got 5 different states saying 5 different answers. Well, 50 different states having 2 different answers. So that's the thing that they're supposed to do, is make this decision. Alaska considers it, and Alaska and North Carolina, both red states. So it makes a difference to his overall electoral count. If it were just, I know, and as stupid as that sounds, it wouldn't get to a point where we're actually in an election and he wasn't on the Colorado ballot. I don't think we're ever going to get to that point where there actually is a presidential election, but he is just not on the Colorado ballot. I don't think we get that far. I think the Supreme Court steps in way before that. So that's not an issue. We don't have to do new electoral math where he's not on it. As much as maybe 538 and Nate Silver would like to. I don't think we will get to that point.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think he's the strongest candidate now. As much as I like DeSantis, he fucked his own campaign in a lot of ways. Very unfortunate. But I think Trump is the only guy with a chance at winning at this point.
I think that he is, as strange as he's not like a charismatic kind of guy, and that shows when he's on the stage and he smiles weird. I get it, man. You know what's hard? Looking into a camera and smiling and I get it. It's difficult. It's not easy. Performance is very difficult. I'm not even any good at it, and I shouldn't be doing it. That's why nobody pays me for it. But he's real bad at it.
A lot better with practice. I'll tell you that much.
It does take practice, and I'm doing a lot better now. But it's not easy. I think you're right. Ron DeSantis is out. DeSantis saying he would fire Jack Smith on day 1 if elected. He's not.
Which one was Jack Smith?
He's the very spooky guy that used to prosecute people at The Hague for war crimes. He's running the federal side. He's the special counsel for the federal side of the DOJ. He's the one with the 91 felony counts against Trump. He's running that.
Yes. DeSantis is playing the whole election wrong.
You think so?
Yeah. He is behaving like he's playing for the vice president role with Trump, while at the same time having already torpedoed his chances of doing that. So yeah, he's fucked.
I agree. He's running for vice president. That's what he's doing.
No, I mean, he can. Trump hates him.
I know.
He's not gonna be the vice president, and he's torpedoed his chances at that already by other things he said. And what did Trump call him? Rhonda Sanctimonious.
Yeah, not quite catchy.
He's already had a nickname. Trump's not taking him as the vice president, and he should have taken the Chris Christie route.
Chris Christie is running for president. He is. He's shooting at the guy in the lead.
Yes,
that's what you do.
Exactly. I mean, DeSantis should have been taking the kind of shots that Christie has been taking the whole time. But he's doing this weird, like I said, he's torpedoed his chances. His campaign is a disaster.
Okay, I agree with his sentence here. DeSantis accuses Smith of weaponizing the legal system.
Do you?
From the other direction, though, I think the legal system is weaponized against criminals, and Donald Trump's a criminal. So yes, true statement. It is weaponized against Trump, but that's because Trump's a criminal. He breaks the law regularly. So yes, DOJ is weaponized against people who break the law. But I agree with him in a horseshoe theory kind of thing, from the other direction. I mean, the DOJ is supposed to be weaponized against criminals, right?
Both sides think that the media is slanted too far in the opposite direction. So
that's probably true. Yeah, maybe. From a capitalist
conservatives think that
the lamestream media, the left, and they're all in charge. Yeah.
Conservatives think that the left is in charge of all the mainstream media, and then of course lefties think that the media is too far to the right. So.
Only because it's based on profit. I don't think that most of the media is right wing. I think most of the media wants to make money, and in doing so, they will bolster the very tiny opinions that somebody on the right has, as if it were completely and totally even on both sides. 99% of climate scientists agree that climate change is happening, but 1% doesn't. But what do you see on the media? You see a 1v1 debate. Should be a 99v1 debate. So they are inflating that 1%. They're inflating the small things to make money. And one side is more interested in money, and it's not the left.
I think that the debate itself draws viewers, and I mean, I think that the debate is just in the wrong place.
Okay. Which way the news leans? I could understand that.
Oh, I was talking about the climate thing.
Yeah, I know. I was only using that as an example. Sorry, I didn't want to veer severely off topic with that one. Let's see. Valiant Thor attempting to take the leading candidate off the ballot is fascist, by the way. I'm a Democrat. Okay, great. Well, what if he's legally not allowed to be on the ballot, Valiant Thor? What if he's legally not allowed to be there? We have laws, If he were 32 years old and leading in the polls, he would legally not be allowed to be on that ballot. I'm arguing with chat now. Sorry.
No.
So,
go ahead. I think that's fine. I mean, I agree.
With the legal argument, or that it's fascist?
Right, with the legal argument.
Okay. I figured you would, but they have to prove it in court first, right?
Hey, I mean, I'm a law and order guy.
Okay.
The thing about candidates on my side is that everyone runs on law and order.
They
so how can
to.
I not be a law and order guy?
Yeah,
right.
I think you're a minority, honestly, within the right wing. That's why I like talking to you. I think that you actually do pay attention to law and order and stuff like that. And a lot of the, let's say, less cerebral members of the Republican right just feel the way they feel, and they call it law and order. It all makes sense whenever a Democrat says our democracy, they mean our power. You can't possibly claim to protect democracy by denying people the right to pick their representatives. Law. If he broke the law and isn't allowed on those ballots, then you don't allow him on the ballot. These are law cases. This isn't Valiant Thor. This is not somebody kicking in the door and burning all the ballots with his name on it. This is actually court cases, going in, looking at the law, reading the Constitution, and coming to a decision. More in the middle. Okay, cool. Well, there are people who have read the Constitution
like I said,
and said this applies to Donald Trump, and he cannot be on these ballots. And it's going to
like
the Supreme Court. This is the correct process.
The Supreme Court is going to 9-0 this. It's going to be 9-0.
That is the right process.
They're going to say he's allowed on the ballot.
And if and when they say that, I will also accept it, because that is the correct process. Yes. I won't bemoan it 2 years from now. I won't sit and complain. And if and when he wins in 24, I won't say, well, he wasn't even allowed on the ballot. Not good. It makes you into like a Hillary fan. We don't like those. Nobody likes those.
Yeah, I totally agree, Starscream. What a shame the GOP cannot or will not field a better candidate or set of candidates. Yeah. Politics is depressing for me nowadays. I thought DeSantis was the candidate, the guy that was going to handle business, I guess you could say, this year. But his candidacy has been, he torpedoed himself trying to play both sides. And it hasn't gone well.
Yeah, it has not gone well for him. Let's see. Nikki Haley says she'd pardon Trump as president if she wins. And honestly, she's not high on my list, but she's higher on my list than DeSantis and Trump and Vivek. Like, I don't.
So
I think she's
more.
I think
that Nikki Haley is the front runner for VP for Trump.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think she's going to be the pick, and the ballot will be Trump and Haley versus Biden and Kamala again.
Mm-hmm. She said, if found guilty, a leader needs to think about what's in the best interest for the country. What's in the best interest of the country is not having an 80-year-old man sitting in jail that continues to divide our country. What's in the best interest of our country would be to pardon him so that we can move on as a country and no longer talk about him. All right, well, I don't no longer talk about him. He gets like the most airtime. Sorry, I didn't have that on screen. I'm gonna be a good streamer someday, you guys. I promise. The only way to make me better is to like, share, and subscribe. I don't think it's no longer talk about him. The media loves talking about him. I like talking about him. That's where most of my views come from, is yelling about Trump. I recognize it, but I think it's because it's important.
Well, yeah, I mean, Nikki Haley is a contender for second place, I suppose. And the thing is that she sides with Trump on everything, even if she talks a little bit out of both sides of her mouth.
Mhm.
I think that she ends up as the VP pick.
Okay. I thought it was
She's playing it very
Vivek
safe.
for about a
I think.
week. For about a week, I thought it was Vivek the fake,
No, it
but
could never
then
be him.
it's not going to be him. Yeah.
No, if Trump had picked him, then he would have Trump and VP Trump on the ballot, which is not palatable to a lot of people. I think that there are a couple of advantages to having Nikki Haley. The first is you got the female VP,
Mhm.
and then you have someone that I think Nikki Haley's actually pretty well liked by the mainstream Republican
Yeah, I agree. She's a lot more
public.
appealing
Yeah,
than most of the people
yeah.
up on that stage, and and that's why they picked Pence, because he was a moderate, middle of the road, well-known person that people liked. That's why they picked
I
Joe
thought
Biden
Pence was picked as a
to even it out.
galvanize the religious vote,
And the religious,
Christian.
yeah. See, so you need
Yeah, that was the
you need to
Pence
shore
pick
up
to
the
me.
place that you're weakest. So you pick Haley to shore up your women. You pick Pence to shore up your religious people. You pick Joe Biden because he actually has a lot of more experience. When Obama picked Biden, it was because he had experience with dealing with diplomatic issues and stuff like that, and he'd been there a long time. Because that was the complaint about Obama, is he's new. He's never run anything before. He's been a one-term senator, and he's super inexperienced. So they picked the most experienced person they had. They picked what was her name? From Alaska, Palin. They picked Palin because the day before Hillary lost the primary, and they gave Michael Steele head of the RNC at the same time because he was going to be the vice president pick. Had Hillary won the primary and Obama had lost, they would have put a black guy as VP under John McCain. Just my assumptions and stuff like that. But Hillary lost, so they put the lady in. If Obama had lost, they would have put the black guy in, and that would have been that's how VP picks are chosen. And I think you're right. Haley might be the one they go with.
Yeah, Trump he's gonna pick her.
Okay.
I mean, I'll say this: I'd be extremely surprised, and I'll make this up a 2024 prediction.
Ooh.
Another one.
All right.
Another one from Thomas for 2024.
Let's do it.
I will say that the 2024 ballot is going to be Joe Biden and Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump and Nikki Haley.
Okay.
I think that Nikki Haley will be his VP pick.
Okay. That would not surprise me.
To the question of RFK having a viable chance. No.
He's met the signature requirement to qualify for Utah's 2024 general election presidential ballot. One step closer to getting on the ballot in that state.
I actually like RFK
threshold
for a lot of things that he said. Here's the thing, though, is that you are never going to make it as a presidential candidate with his voice. I'm sorry.
Yep.
It's not happening.
Yep. It's not pleasant, but I agree. It's not nice. It's not polite. It's not politically correct. But it is correct.
The fact is, look, if you sound good, if you look good, your chances of making it as a presidential candidate are much, much stronger. And if either of those two things are in the wrong direction, your chances are much, much lower as a presidential candidate. Like that's the long and short of it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, they said the same.
It's not politically correct.
They said the same about Barack Hussein Obama. He overcame it, but it hurt him. I think it would hurt Vivek Ramaswamy. And another prediction to go along with yours is that people start talking about Nikki Haley's real name. I think that actually will come up if she's chosen as VP. She's Sikh by birth, and her first name isn't Nikki. It's Ahmed something. Doesn't sound American, and I think that they will bring that up, and it'll be an issue, but I don't think as big an issue as RFK Jr.'s voice.
No, I mean, I feel bad for the guy. His voice is not his fault.
Right.
But,
there was a medical thing that happened, and it's not his fault. I don't think Nimrata. I think that's a nice name, Nimrata. Haley. I think that's interesting. But there are certain people who won't vote for Nimrata Haley, but would vote for Nikki Haley. So,
unfortunately, there's a lot of politics that is about the
presentation, the packaging.
Exactly. Yes, the presentation. That's what I was looking for.
Mhm.
I don't think that RFK has a chance because the presentation comes with the voice that sounds like he's been smoking 3 packs of cigarettes a day for about 40 years.
Right.
And I mean, it's not his fault. I get it, but it's tough to listen to the guy. I like him. I would vote for him probably, but I don't think he has a chance because when you do politics, it's about presentation, and unfortunately, that's
Yeah, I was like, hey, who's this cool guy? He's got the word name Kennedy. But then he lost me with the conspiracy theorist stuff. I grew up a conspiracy theorist. I've been one for such a long time that I see them and I recognize them and I smell them from a mile away. I make the jokes about Alex Jones all the time about how the government's coming for you. But he's a little on that side, and I can appreciate it, but I can't vote for it. Oh, hi. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video. The algorithm loves it when you watch it all the way to the end of the video. If you want to keep the algorithm happy, and I know you do, press the subscribe button, press the thumbs up button, leave a comment, tell me what you're thinking, tell me what you're feeling, and let's all keep that algorithm happy. Thanks. Have a good day.